Oh, you want me to tell my sad story about my sick friend?
Yeah.
And why we should all appreciate our lives.
We'll get all the sadness out.
Man, I've got a friend of a friend who's been diagnosed with cancer, and they got their, I think it's called your prognosis, yesterday, like their final one, their most informed one. And I guess a melanoma metastasized, and now it's kind of everywhere, like at least 2 large tumors in this person's brain, and then maybe some more throughout their body as well. That's hit 6 to 18 months.
Whoa.
6 to 18 months. This is like a really young, this person's like 30 years old, I think. Well, like right now, they're in the hospital, like not feeling well because they had to cut their brain open to like take some samples. So they cut this big horseshoe sort of flap on the side of your head and peel that back and drill a hole in your skull and take some brain out.
Makes you feel bad, probably.
Makes you feel bad. Mm-hmm. But after, it's none of my business, and I'm certainly not going to interject, but I would be living life like that song, like live like you were dying. You ever hear that song?
Yeah.
You'd have to go ride a bull, go skydiving, go spend some time with your most beloved friends and family, like take the time to be a good friend.
Is this person single? Childless also? Do you know?
I think so. I think both of those things, yeah.
Yeah. Because that very much informs how I'd handle it. Like the me of today, I'd be like, shit, I guess I'll spend my last 6 to 18 months like organizing my affairs, simplifying our finances, stuff like that. But the hypothetical single Woody, just how big a slut can I be? That is the question. Just like, I got a couple nickels to rub together. We'll buy it if we have to.
Woody transitions.
That would be so funny.
He's got big titties. He just shows up, boys, I have cancer. We're like, what, breast cancer? What is that? Well, only 6 months to go. I'm living it up.
Well, actually, my patient Matthew is having a mental breakdown. He believes that Matthew Woodworth has cancer, but that Martha Woodworth does not.
Martha can't have prostate cancer. She doesn't have one. Girls don't have prostate.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't make it the full 18 months because you would just get over the top ballsy with your adrenaline seeking, where you'd fly towards a mountain face.
Nothing to lose.
Break an ankle doing that.
Surf a hurricane.
Circle around again.
I've flown in hurricanes before.
But we're gonna tow you out to the hurricane. We're gonna get you out to the scary water, or maybe that wouldn't even be the scary water. I don't know how hurricanes work. Maybe the shores.
How about this? We strap you up with 1,000 pagers and then send you into send you into the West Bank. Yeah,
that'd be blend right into the West Bank. I'm sure.
Well, I am very sorry for your friend of a friend. That's incredibly sad.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, right. Like whenever you see something like that, it makes you really appreciate your health. I know there's been times where I've been injured or just had like a nagging pain and just been in so much pain all day. Like when I've been burnt or when I had that surgery on my eye, or those stitches under my eyelid constantly hurting me. And then like when that's over, you forget how bad it was to live in pain, every waking moment, and to struggle to get to sleep. You're in so much pain. You forget how awful that is and how like life really isn't worth living after a bit of that. And it goes away and you start taking that for granted. I try to think about that a lot. Like, man, I feel good today. Nothing hurts. Like nothing hurts. Nothing aches. Nothing burns.
It's a gay little self-help. Actually, it's not even self-help thing because it like does help. Like practicing gratitude, like actively, will make you happier as a person. Like forcing yourself to, like, if you're feeling glum or down or sad or depressed or whatever, like go through things and like actively make a list either in your mind or tangibly about what you are grateful for is more powerful than I think a lot of people know.
Cringe.
No, it is.
No, I do it all the time. It's there's actually this cool course about meditation that you can do. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it basically goes through all that stuff. This guy is an expert in giving people the tools when they are terminally ill, the tools that they need to live the last few months of their lives. And he's like, if it works for people who their lives are cut short, then it will work for you for sure. And part of what he's saying is that absolutely, it's like there's parts of your brain that you can exercise that, just like a muscle. You run to become cardiovascularly more strong. Yeah, and you feel grateful. You can feel grateful. You can feel like you're accepting things. You can feel like you're okay with things. Those are all things that you can to do and improve and work on.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be reactive all the time like a fucking ape.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do when you're doing a podcast. So.
It's not entertaining.
On medical drama TV shows, they make it seem like the cancer choice is this. You can have, I'll make it up, 24 awful months of chemo or 6 months where you're really doing pretty fine except for the last 3 days. That doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem like that's how it would really be. I wonder how it really is. Like what are the choices?
I think it varies, and the doctors are afraid to give you a concrete answer. I mean, they don't want to be proven wrong. That'd be the worst thing. So I think, especially with that prognosis, that's why when they said 6 to 18, I was like, holy shit. I think usually they say less, and because they know it's going to be more. It's like he was only supposed to last 10 months, but old Doc Rogers kept him around for 3 years. He's a genius. I think there's a little bit of that going on, but I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would want to go like
I'd lie in the other direction as a doctor. I'd be like, you've got 20 to 30 years. Then they just go out and live their life.
Like imagine that, Woody. Like imagine
I do have 20 to 30 years.
And you're living the
dream. like would you consider doing like a Walter White type thing too, to just like do a little crime there at the end? Why not?
I have to leave cash behind, and I'm afraid. I mean, if it's the Walter White where I make a bunch of money and leave that behind, but that'd be cool, maybe. But yeah, I'm a little worried that like if I did something that cost my family a bunch of our resources, that'd be a mistake.
Well, yeah, you get public defender. In this situation, you're single, no family, no kids.
Ooh.
What crimes are you committing?
Bank robbery.
Bank robbery. Number one, I am robbing a bank.
What mask are we wearing? Theme.
Oh, I would. See, I've thought about this enough to know that I don't want something over the top goofy, like a clown mask.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I want something a little something out there.
Maybe something with a muted face.
In the movie, Baby, or Baby Driver, whatever it was, the guy says, "All right, we're wearing Michael Myers masks. So it's a fucking you get the mask. I got the shotguns. You know, show up tomorrow. We'll be in the Malibu." And the guy shows up and breaks out the mask, and it's Mike Myers from fucking Austin Powers. He said, "What the fuck is that?" He said, "That's Mike Myers. That's him." I said, "Michael Myers."
Man, I'm supposed to rob dressed up like fat bastard. Like
they all have Austin Powers masks, robbing the fucking armored car and everything.
Point Break, they all did presidents, different ones. There was Dick,
like
Reagan, Dick is Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fun. Yeah, I don't know exactly the kind of mask. I'd probably spend about half of my remaining time determining the mask. And then when that was decided, I'd pick a bank, and my goal would be like I'd want to rob multiple banks. And so I might like start even small and be like, can I just walk in and demand money?
I think armored trucks is the way to go, because I'm worried that the bank is like built to not be robbed. Not that an armored truck isn't as well.
Ready to die.
Dude,
yeah, but two of them. They're right there. I see both of them. They don't know I'm here to get them. And in the bank, I got to deal with all these innocents, all these random like passersby. There's cameras everywhere. Maybe they got locking doors. They've got all sorts of sneaky alarms, and they don't have much money. If you've ever gone to the bank to get like $30,000-$40,000 to like buy a thing, they're like, "Oh, you need 30,000 American dollars." It's a struggle for them to pull together the amount of money that you would expect from a bank robbery. But an armored
I know a bank robber.
A couple $100,000.
Really?
You know a bank robber.
Yeah. And what you're saying, Kyle, is totally true. Coming from the mouth of a bank robber. So I hired this guy to work on my house a couple of years ago, and he's crazy, very entertaining guy. And I'm like, this guy's fucking nuts. He's a little older. And he's jacked and just like all over the fucking place. I'm like, he probably maybe was on meth or something like that. I'm not sure. This guy's fucking just wild, old redneck guy. And so he's talking and stuff, and he's got all these. He's bonded, licensed, contracted. He's like legit. He's got a good long track record of work. And I see some people talking shit about him on Facebook and stuff. But that's what always happens for like local contractors. People get upset, and I didn't do a background check. He was coming to like give me a bid. And I saw on Facebook, someone was like, this guy robbed 19 banks, right? 19.
Sick.
This guy is he didn't hurt anybody. He didn't like murder anyone or anything like that, but he's a fucking bank robber. Like he's a thief. And I saw that like as he was coming. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a little weird. But he gave me a great bid that I could not turn down. Lo and behold, terrible work, did a terrible job. I had to have it all redone. So I learned my fucking lesson. There's a reason it was so cheap.
Right?
He robbed you.
Price was right. And he started off strong, but he started to kind of come apart. And the reason he came apart is because he had spent 10 years in the penitentiary and he just got out a few months before. So he was like trying to get back up on his feet. And he was doing a good job. He was very professional, but his team abandoned him. I think he's like kind of weird with money. He just wasn't paying them. I think that's the real term there. But he told us how he robbed these banks, and he's totally open about it. So he's this big white guy with just bright white hair, huge guy too. He went to Austin. So he lived in like northern Texas. He would drive to Austin and he would find those little small kind of in and out banks on the side of the street that have an ATM right next to them. Mm-hmm. And he would steal. He would put on a Carhartt in the middle of summer, use mascara to make his hair black, and speak Spanish and act like a Mexican guy. Go in, steal like $700, maybe $1,000 if he was lucky, because that's all they had. That's all they've got.
Not
Do
true.
it quickly. That's what you can get easily and quickly. Yeah. And then he would leave and get away with it. He did that 19 times. And the reason he got caught is because he went to the same bank multiple times, like a fucking idiot. And on his, is it this guy?
The bad hair bandit? Is
that's not him? No, that's not him.
Oh,
this was 10 years ago. This was in Southern Texas. This was in 10 years. This is, I guess, in Houston too, though.
Hey, I'm kind of famous. Do you hear the bad hair bandit?
This guy is a little out of shape. The guy I'm talking about, dude, I want to say his name so bad. He's such a fucking legend. He'd be a great guest on the podcast, to be honest.
I'd like to. We talked to a jewel thief one time. That was a gas.
He was so bad,
dude. He'd be like, I'm on TRT. Do you know I'm on TRT? I have superhuman levels of testosterone. I'm 75 years old.
Oh, that awesome.
Sounds cool.
So interesting. And he felt bad about it. Obviously, he was on meth. I think he said that he was like out of his mind at the time, obviously. And he said he remembers driving back home and hearing on the radio that they knew who this guy was, who was robbing all these banks in Austin. And he was like, and he just waited at his house and they came and busted him.
So there's a separate bad hair bandit?
There's multiple.